Power looks crowded. Motorcades, applause, flashbulbs detonating like tiny suns. Rooms filled with people who stand when he enters and fall silent when he speaks. But power at its highest altitude is oxygen thin. The more authority a man accumulates, the fewer people can speak to him without fear. The higher he climbs, the less honest the air becomes. Compliments echo louder than criticism. Agreements arrive faster than truth. And slowly, invisibly, the circle tightens. History gives us silhouettes of this solitude. Richard Nixon pacing the White House corridors at night, distrust coiling around him like barbed wire. Joseph Stalin ruling an empire, yet trusting almost no one. Dining in rooms thick with suspicion. Napoleon Bonaparte commanding continents, then ending his days on a remote island with the ocean as his only audience. These men held immense power, but power is not companionship. There is a paradox at the heart of leadership. The stronger the image, the more fragile the inner circle. Advisors filter their words. Friends become stakeholders. Even family can become political. When everyone needs something from you, who is left to simply know you? For powerful men, vulnerability becomes a liability. Doubt is edited out. Fear is archived. Grief is postponed. Because authority performs certainty, and so they perform. They become symbols before they remain human. Consider the modern era. Vladimir Putin seated at long, theatrical tables that stretched like metaphors. Distance as design. Control as architecture. Donald Trump surrounded constantly by cameras, yet often described by former insiders as insulated within a shrinking circle of loyalists.
Power
Different
looks
systems,
crowded.
Different styles, but a familiar pattern. Power reorganizes relationships. It introduces calculation into conversations. It replaces laughter with leverage. At first, the isolation feels strategic. You cannot afford weakness. You cannot afford betrayal. But strategy calcifies into habit, and habit becomes loneliness. The dangerous part is not just emotional, it is cognitive. When no one challenges you, your worst instincts mature unchecked. When dissent disappears, error multiplies. When criticism becomes treason, reality becomes optional. Loneliness distorts judgment, and distorted judgment reshapes nations. This is why strong institutions matter more than strong men. This is why free press, opposition voices, and internal critics are not inconveniences. They are anchors. Without anchors, even the most powerful drift. Yet beneath the politics is something simpler. A man. A father, perhaps. A husband, a son. A person who once laughed without calculating headlines. Power rarely asks whether someone is emotionally equipped for isolation. It simply hands over the keys and locks the door behind them. And here is the quiet truth. Many powerful men are not surrounded by friends. They are surrounded by roles. Chief of staff, general, advisor, strategist. Few can say, "You are wrong." Fewer can say, "You are hurting." And no one can say it without risk. So the man at the top learns to speak last, trust less, reveal little. He becomes both fortress and prisoner. History often remembers their decisions. It rarely records their silence. In the end, power does not guarantee connection. It often erodes it. And perhaps the ultimate test of leadership is not how loudly a man commands a room, but whether he can still hear a whisper inside it. Because if power isolates the leader from truth, it isolates the nation from wisdom. And that is when loneliness stops being personal. It becomes political.